Hey there, FAANG Army. How are you all doing today? So, we're back on our YouTube channel with another video about how you can get your dream job. Today's video is all about interviews and how to answer any single question. The difficulty that people face with any interview is that they feel they're not prepared because they don't know what question an interviewer can ask. And that's right, you will never be prepared according to the list of questions because even the interviewers don't have a lot of questions as a list in most cases. They build on what you answer. So you have to be very careful of what you are answering. Now, how do you answer every question and how can you still be very prepared? So what you do is you have to be ready with a structure of thoughts that will help you answer any given question. What I'm talking about is the STAR method. So what we mean by the STAR method is situation, task, actions, and results. So any question that you're asked, you have to break it down into all these 4 segments, and that will help you not keep blabbering about every story, explaining what happened, who did what. Nobody's interested. What they need to know is that you answer about what you did, crisp, clear, and you don't start telling them your life story because let's face it, they don't have all the day to interview. So what is this STAR method and how to utilize it? Let's get to it. Okay, so what does the STAR technique actually do? When you divide your every answer into all the 4 segments, situations, tasks, actions, and results, you're able to give a clear-cut picture of what happened, what was the current situation at hand, how did you break it down into different tasks, and what were the tasks that you were primarily responsible for? And then according to the tasks, what were your actionables or what did you actually do? How did you actually get to what you had to do? And then what results did you come up with? So this helps the recruiter understand or the interviewer understand your psychology of the clarity you have in terms of communication, in terms of answering any question, in terms of how your experience has been for you. And also you're able to communicate everything in a structured, honest, real manner. But at the same time, you're not just blabbering everything that happened. You have a clear-cut picture. Let's take a very quick example. A few of the general questions that you get asked in an interview may be things like, tell me about a time that you failed at a project. Tell me about a time when you led a project. Tell me about a time when you had a conflict in the team and you ended up resolving it. Some of these questions. So how will you break these questions down and how to answer them? Let's take an example. Example 1. How do you deal with the situation when someone in your team disagrees with your opinion or your ideas? How will you answer this? So the first step, like I said, is situation. What you do is you try to create the idea of what the situation was where there was a disagreement. Because they don't need to hear the entire story, you have to build a very crisp line which will indicate what was your opinion, what was the other person's opinion. So something on the lines of, when I was working as a RPA developer with Siemens Energy, my teammate and I were discussing a new project that we got, and we were looking at the possible solutions to move forward, the algorithms that we could create to move forward and develop the project actually. That is your situation. Now, what was the tasks that happened? My colleague felt that we should do X, Y, Z, 3 steps. Whereas I felt that the order of these steps is not exactly right, and I thought that the steps should be A, B, C. This is what happened, and somewhere between how you were tasking these steps. Now you will explain what did you actually do. How I tried to resolve this conflict is try and understand from my colleague why they felt these 3 steps are important in their opinion, and what is the chronology they want to follow, and what will be exactly they want to achieve. And I did the same, explaining my point of view, my ideas, and my steps. I explained the entire 3 steps, the order I want to bring in, and what would be the result after each step. These were your actionables. Now you go to your results. What happens is that when we both discussed our opinions and discussed all the steps that we want to do, we realized and we came to a decision that what he was missing a few small details and that were already handled in the approach that I had in mind. So we resolved the conflict very easily by just sitting down across the table and discussing the entire problem. And we were able to start the production, start the development on time, and we resolved the issue very easily. So I hope this will easily help the recruiter or the interviewer understand what was the entire situation, why did you in the first place have a disagreement, what were the tasks that you defined to get over the situation, then what were the actionables that you took? You sat down with this person to discuss the problem, everything. And then what was the final result? The result for this particular question is you were able to bring out your decision. You were able to bring out the right decision, and that's how you solve the problem. So this way it helps the other person understand the entire problem and shows the right transferable skills that you already have. You just need to answer them in a certain way. What usually will happen when you answer using the STAR method is that, like I said, the interviewer usually don't sit with a list of questions they want to ask you. Rather, they want to understand from your experiences all the skills and experiences that you had. So they will build on what you said. They will ask you probably the next question on all this answer of what you just said. Oh, okay, so why do you think this person forgot these few details? What was that you did differently to handle those details, whereas your colleague wasn't able to? This is how the interview usually works. Let's take another example. Example 2. Tell me about a time when you failed on doing something. The pro tip for this question is, do not try to show that you haven't ever failed, because that is not honest. And my dear friend, as much as you know or do not know an answer, you never want to lie on your interview. So now that you're being honest, you want to show a space where you would have failed. And like I said, honesty is that you must have had some experience where you failed. Maybe you failed to complete a deadline. Maybe you failed to understand the right requirements, something of that sort. Pick up one of your experiences from all the list of experiences that you had and try to explain what you have done, again, using the STAR method. Let's go step by step. So let's define the situation again. So the situation for this question would be, I received a new urgent deadline where I was already working on a project. And since I had already worked on a similar sort of topic earlier, I was the best suited in the team to take care of this new urgent requirement. Since I had my old project going on with its own timelines, I had to manage and sort of plan out how my both projects would go parallelly. Since it's an urgent requirement, it will require probably a little more extra time. So I had to manage these two things. So that's your situation. Now your tasks would be, so to plan out correctly, I created a list of the topics that I have to take care of for both my projects. For the urgent requirement, I tried to prioritize things and define how I can reutilize whatever I have already developed. If I can take up some small bits and pieces of help from the team and have them develop a few modules to complete the project on time. Similarly, for the old project that was already going on, even though it was not urgent, we did have defined timelines. So I tried to extend some help from one of my colleagues to work on a few modules for the ongoing project as well, to give myself some bandwidth to work on the urgent requirement. Now, your actionables were that I tried to prioritize and develop the few topics under the urgent requirement and tried to handle them along with the deadlines of the ongoing project. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to exactly prioritize right. Because it was an urgent requirement, I was not able to work between both the things. And I did miss out one of the deadlines for my already ongoing project. So I did fail in balancing my new urgent requirement versus a old project. But I did also learn that it's very easy and always a good approach to ask for help from all your colleagues, and I'm sure everyone is always readily available to help out. Secondly, as a developer, you should always have some readily reusable modules if you're creating similar projects and you know that these projects are very generic to the requirements that you usually get, to be able to work things on time and also not be developing similar topics again and again. This will not show you as a failure. Rather, it shows that yes, you accept your failure. Yes, you understand why and how you failed. And you also have mitigation steps on how to not fail again. By iterating and concluding it in your results section of how you have learned new things across the time while you failed, gives that ideal answer of yes, I failed, but this is what I learned from it, and I don't, hope I will not fail again. I hope this STAR method will help you in your next interview round. In case you still have doubts about any particular questions, drop them in the comment section below or join our Discord community, and we will get back to you for a lot of help with all our mentors, always there to help you achieve your goals. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, do not forget to subscribe and like, and share this video if you think you have other people who are ready to give interviews. All the best. I hope you get your dream job soon.